Hello and welcome to Acutivity Software as a Service. We believe this inexpensive yet simple and extremely powerful tool is something that you will not want to live without in your organization. The purpose of this video is to answer the following questions. What will my account look like, and what kind of functionality will I have? So we are assuming at this point that you have selected one of these two products here. It will be either the free version or the Cacoon version. Later on we'll be introducing C-Level and Complete, but for now we're going to be talking about these. So you will have gone through the setup process, and at the end of the setup process you will receive an email with instructions on how to set up the software. You will download the software to each of your machines, and once you reboot, the process begins. You have been given a login count. You will log into the administrative console, and here you have the username and password that you created in your setup. So I'm going to log in here. Oops. Helps if you type correctly, doesn't it? Okay. Here's your an example of your administration console. You see this is Test Company, and you say Mr. George Baker is the admin. What you see here when first open up is the company settings. These are ones that you have set up. This is synchronization interval, and you'll understand some of these things just by going through it. So I don't want to belabor these. Here's your license key. Product selections. This would have your number of licenses that you purchased or opted for the free version. In this case we have selected the Cacoon, and this has internet and application monitoring. This is one of the add-on features, Stealth or Interactive, which is basically the productivity clock function. It is not enabled at this point. We have clicked Categorize Websites, Track URLs. We did select the website content problem notification, which is one of the add-on features. And then we had Track Windows Titles. This is where you would update credit card information. And this is your primary contacts. The first primary contact there is the one that you must set up during the setup process, and this would be your admin. You can set up additional primary contacts either in the setup process or later here. You see there's one additional primary contact, and the purpose of allowing you additional primary contacts is so that they can receive email reports or SMS notifications, and you'll find out more about that later. You just simply fill that information, put the email address, save, and they will be added to that primary contacts list, and they can receive the reports as well. You can also delete them at any time. You will not be able to delete the administrator of the account. Okay, so we will go next to let's go here to the tree functionality. Okay, so what you see here is a tree that intends to represent a management level, and you see there's already something created here called Stealth Manager. The Stealth Manager is basically a holding position for the automatically created accounts, and you should ignore the 311 in this case. That's really a company ID. You will not need that information. But underneath the Stealth Manager you see that there were two automatically created users. This is the Windows name, and this is the name of the computer. So this could be hundreds of people right here, and often is. But for now, this is a test account, and we've just created two users at this point. So let's log in here, and we will double-click this user here. And you see that there are various settings for that user. But let's go to this one. This is an activity by date. What this is internet activity by date. And you see that this user began the setup on just a few days ago, and there's these days of accumulated data. Let's take a look at these are dates, and this is the total amount of time they were on the internet during that time. And so let's expand that out and take a look at what we have here. So you'll see the websites here, and you may or may not recognize all of them. It's okay if you don't recognize them. We will just click here, we'll expand that out, and what you see is the time of day that was accessed, the duration. You may not recognize that. If you don't, you know that you often don't recognize websites by their name. You click on that one, and it brings up this information. So you'll actually see the website there. Very helpful in understanding how the computer is being used. We'll go ahead and look at one more here on this one, and this is, you'll notice this is Chase Online. Yes, that is Chase Bank. So this user, Clint, was using Chase Bank accounts, and so I want to demonstrate something to you here. I'm going to double click on, or click on this page, bring up the browser, and what you'll see is that doesn't take us into any secure areas. What that does is gets us to the login for each of those pages. You could go to any of those pages and you'll just jump right here. So that's really the way it should be, and the bank is keeping us out of there, and we're happy about that. But you can see that the user was there and how long they spent there and what time of day they were there. So next we'll go to activity by site, and what this does is categorizes the sites from most to least used over the last 60 days, and you can recognize quickly if there's an issue there. Okay. Now we're going to stop here for just a second, because if you've signed up for the free version, that will be where your functionality stops. A lot of functionality, and it doesn't cost you anything. If you signed up for the Cacoon, you will get these additional features that we'll go to next. You'll have activity by application, which basically shows all the applications on your computer and the amount of time that they're being used. Okay. So let's take a look here at one of these. Screw down. Let's take a look at Google Earth, for instance, and you will see the days. It was accessed on August 3rd, 11th, time of day, duration, and the kind of activity that goes there. Then we can go to the application by date. This is also similar to what we viewed before. You can see the total amount of time that they were on the computer those days. And let's expand on this day again. Let's see, what did we want to look at here? You've got some iTunes usage going on. Let's go to Outlook, and you will see this is a heavy Outlook user here. You see all this that's going on, and Windows titles. Okay, and there's still more activity there, another 44 rows. Okay, so you see what kind of detail this will provide you. Okay. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to briefly show a couple of add-on features for you. The notification categories, I'm not going to show you in detail. You'll have to look at the video about instant notifications, but you see that this website categorization list, and you can actually receive notifications based on these, and there are some other settings. We would also remind you here of this initial company setup, the product selections. This is where you would select the interactive setting, where it would produce the productivity clock, and likewise you will need to watch the productivity clock video for all the functionality there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go in, and I'm going to show you how to create management groups. So you see, like this is a management structure. You see the indentations, and so what this will allow you to do, and if you've got hundreds of users there, you may want to ask your managers to manage their own people. At least go in and view reports, or however you decide as an organization to manage your people, but we give you this flexibility. So what we're going to do is we right-clicked on Stealth Manager. We're going to create, and we are creating a new manager. You can name this anything you want to. You can name it Finance Department. You can give it a name. Just for fun right now, we're going to call him Barney. And last name Rebel. And we're going to give him very simple login and password. And Barney can go in and change his own password at any time. And you've got the time zone setting. This contact information does not need to be filled out. We'll just go ahead and save and update that. Okay, and you see what that did is that created Barney Rubble, and it sent an email message to him with that information login. So now Barney Rubble will be able to log in and look, but right now he doesn't really have anybody that's reporting to him. So let's give him somebody right there. We're going to move Clint over to Barney, and now you see that Barney Rubble has got the little plus sign beside him. Look at that. And now Barney Rubble has a login to be able to manage Clint. Okay, got that. That was pretty easy. Now you've got the drag and drop functions. You can also delete managers, delete users at this point by right-clicking and delete. But I notice here that I'm trying to delete a manager. Whoops, cannot do that because there's somebody below them. So what you'll need to do is move that user first back to someone else. Okay, and then you can delete Barney. Okay, you can also delete a user at any time, but if you don't uninstall the software on the machine, the next time that person logs in, they will be recreated. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's been helpful. Enjoy your software.